Well, this is the third time I've tried to make this response to you. Now, let's hope the audio works. Okay, so, the United States of America. First, I'd just like to say that what I'm about to talk about in no way represents any kind of denigration or attack on the American people per se. Lots of my friends are American. I have some great contacts with Americans who have been and are living in the United Kingdom, and also many who reside mainly in the United States as well. These people are my friends, and they're wonderful people. Very open, very kind, very generous. And I believe these are true traits of the American people generally. So, why is it that the United States have such a bad name at the moment? Well, you know, it's to do with George Bush and the cabal of crooks, for want of a better word, that he has helping him to run the United States government. We look on in amazement at the things that he's done since coming to power, and before coming to power as well. And in fact, one has to say that the original election, when he was elected, this was a travesty of justice. How can you have a president brought to power through the dumping of ballot boxes into the swamps in Florida? Incredible. Now, you know, some people will be upset that an outsider can say this, but we see it in the news, on websites, in newspapers. We listen to people talking about this denigration of democracy all the time. And of course, once into power, he's perpetrated perhaps the biggest blot on the landscape in the last 50 years, namely the Iraq war, attacking the Iraqi people and holding them responsible for the actions of a small group of terrorists who in no way came from Iraq. What's that all about? He's broken all of the tenets of the Nuremberg principles, which were introduced at the end of the Second World War. And, you know, he's perpetrated a crime against peace by invading a sovereign country. These arguments are well rehearsed. I don't need to say much more, except that, you know, there's nothing democratic about what's gone on there. Now, what I want to turn to next really is something that's much more frightening and concerning. I'm very glad that I don't live in the United States, and one of the reasons, the main reasons for that, is the introduction of the Patriot Act, possibly the biggest attack on the civil liberties of the American people that's ever happened. To introduce a law where people who go to the library are going to be monitored in terms of the books that they're reading, that is incredible. It's prefigured, of course, by George Orwell in 1984, and, you know, the whole of the Patriot Act, when you read it, and I have read it, even though I'm not an American. I find frightening. And even more worrying is the fact that our current Prime Minister, Tony Blair, and some of the people around him are looking to introduce similar legislation into the United Kingdom, all based on some kind of, I don't know what the correct word to use really. Spurious would be one word, but some kind of ill-founded attempt to justify what they term to be the war on terror. Well, you know, behaviour breeds behaviour, and, you know, do unto others as you would have them do unto you. Confucius wrote that 600 years before Christ. And, you know, that's the kind of wisdom that we really need, not what's going on at the moment. And there are people, you know, people who, what can you say, people who are free thinkers, people who have ideas, people who are cultural beacons, are being excluded from reading lists by educational committees in small counties in the United States. I read recently that Kurt Vonnegut's Slaughterhouse 5 is being banned in certain schools by school boards up and down America. For what reason? This is crazy. A book which is one of the biggest indictments of the use of weapons of mass destruction. Such a book to be banned is beyond belief. I'm almost speechless. So, you know, these are a few of the things that, you know, really worry me about the state of the United States of America. The people, generally speaking, no, I have a lot of time for. Things like the gun laws. Well, once again, you know, we don't have the freedom to carry arms in this country, and I'm so pleased about that. I can't imagine what it's like being able to go and buy really heavyweight armaments from licensed arms fairs, and then to be able to go and walk about with them, carry them around. What's that all about? Maybe some of you can respond to this. Well, I'm going to leave it there. Next time we can talk about some positive things. Collaborations between British and American musicians, for example. I have a little record company called Wild West Wales, and I'm about to publish a CD which is exactly that, a collaboration by Americans from Louisiana and Georgia with musicians from Wild West Wales around Aberystwyth and the West Wales area. So I'll talk about that next time. But this is a start. Communication opened, and let's get it on. Okay.